It's time to check how the Benelli TRK 702 succeeded, this brand new and very much rated motorbike, but we have to look for another route. We are not going to test it here, but somewhere else.
And luckily we didn't get one of the two versions of the new bike, but both of them in the same time, so we could try the new 702, let's say the basic model, and the 702X, which is the adventure bike, adventure version of it. So we could really make a comparison between the two of them. What are the differences also in technical parts? You can check it in the catalog, it's true. And what is even more important, in the behavior of the two bikes. Let's check out in details what are these differences between the two models. The biggest part of these are absolutely well and easily seeable when you get the first visual contact with the bikes. The basic version has 17-inch wheels in the front and in the rear as well, and these are alloy wheels. And the X version has spoken rims, and in the front it has a 19 and in the rear a 17-inch one. And also the tires are different because the basic 702 has Pirelli Angel GT, while the X version has a Scorpion Rally STR, which is looking like a little bit more, let's say, adventure or off-road, but we have to be sure that this tire is extremely proper for paved road use as well. So when you would like to ride on a serpentine, on a curvy road, then this is going to be a perfect tire for you. But what is important, that both of the bikes have really premium quality Pirelli tires. And also the two front discs, brake discs, are different because the X version, both of them are 320 millimeters, but the X version has this not straight side disc, while the basic version has a normal disc plate. And what is even more important difference, that here we have two piston calipers on the X version, while on the basic one, the normal one, we have 4 piston and radial calipers. Honestly, when making brake tests on normal everyday public road, we didn't really feel a big difference, so even the X version has absolutely good brake efficiency. And there is one more difference which is really very important, that because of these things, because of the different wheel sizes, the seat height of the basic TRK is much lower. It's 790 millimeter, while the X version has nearly 5 centimeters higher seat. So if a rider is not too high, or we can say short, then it really can make a big difference between the two bikes.
The wind protection is absolutely the same on the two versions, so the basic and the X version has the same windshield and everything else, so there are no differences. We have one windshield which which is position cannot be changed at all, and not too big, but it also has, both of the bikes has these two small aerodynamic elements on the side, and these three things all together push up the air pretty much well from your upper body and your helmet as well. Your shoulders and arms get enough air. So for example, now it is very warm in Hungary, 30 degrees. It's absolutely good, the ventilation of the coat. But my Nolan helmet has a little bit higher noise, but my friend's Schubert helmet was absolutely silent. So with a relatively premium helmet, the wind protection and the wind noise of the new Benellis is, I think, pretty sufficient.
get on the bike, we can check out the seat position and also this seat height difference. You can check out in what angle my left leg is when I am in standstill position with the basic 702. All in all, this whole seat position's upper body part is proper because you are sitting absolutely straight back, high and wide handlebars, absolutely comfortable, really. The problem is downwards where the foot pegs and the seat are a little bit too close to each other. So when I put on my leg, you can see that my knee angle is very, very sharp. Of course, I know that I have very, very long legs, but both of the bikes were tried even with a 170 centimeter tall rider, friends of us, and everybody who tried them said that this part is not the most comfortable they have ever met. And let's check out the X version, if there is any difference or not. Sit on this bike as well. You can see that how much more straight my leg is. This is because of the higher seat. But the knee angle, if I put my boot on the foot peg to a normal position, it is the same way sharp. The engine is absolutely the same in the two versions, so there are no difference here. Both of them are 698 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine, which produces 70 brake horsepower and 70 Newton meter. The first is on 8,000 and the second data is on 6,000 RPM, but which is much more important instead of the pure data. That how is it behaving on everyday normal public roads. I think here in Europe it's absolutely enough what these engines know. We have to be clear about that in the Euro 5 era, these datas we have to live together with.
And let's check out what this 70 brake horsepower and 70 Newton meter is enough for. Let's slow down and then increase the speed from second gear. Absolutely enough for public road riding. What is true that it doesn't really like low RPM, so if I decrease the RPM very much in, for example, fifth gear, then there is not real acceleration at all. So when you would like to ride a little bit more dynamic, then you always have to gear down and rev up, and then the engine is going to be a good partner of yours.
What is again totally the same in the two versions is the suspension. In the front we have a 50mm wide telescopic forks. Few years ago they were made by Marzocchi, but nowadays Benelli produces it by itself. And the moving ability of the front suspension is 145mm, which is good enough for an on-road bike, but for an off-road bike as the TRK 702X, it could be a little bit more. Although we have to be clear about that this is not a real off-road motorbike because it's too heavy, and for example the ABS system cannot be switched off. Luckily you don't have any kind of electronic stability control, so that you don't have to switch off. And in the rear suspension we have a central unit which can be changed only in the preload and only with the instrument and on a small place under the seat that I think not too many of the riders is going to change it too often. And Benelli is giving the moving ability of the suspension unit only, which is 50mm and doesn't mean anything to us because we get accustomed to the rear wheel moving ability. So but anyhow it is behaving, we can say, in the synchron with the first one.
out how the suspension is working on a pretty bad quality and curvy road. We found a pretty good one here in Hungary. I'm sitting on the X version, the TRK 702X at the moment, and this is really a road full of bumps and holes and road mistakes and everything. And I have to say, after these few curves, that this suspension is working absolutely neutral. When I'm pulling the front brake in the curve, it's not even standing up the bike, so it's absolutely a neutral and well-behaving public road suspension. But the TRK 702X version has. Now the big question is how the other one is behaving. And let's check out the basic version with the 17 front wheel on the same road, absolutely the same curves. How is it behaving? Well, it's absolutely not the same. Much more nervous. So on all types of road mistakes I have to corrigate to keep the line and not to lose the road. Really much harder to ride with this bike than with the X version. That was really perfect and neutral. This one is not. And let's check out the front brake using, it's standing up the bike much more direct, so much worse, and you also have to corrigate in that case.
The dashboard is a really simple LCD unit. I think we have already met with it at other models of Benelli. It is saying hello and naming that I'm a Benelli and showing that the top speed of the bike is 360 kilometers per hour. As we couldn't try it, it's pretty important data. Otherwise we have a lot of important information, the time, the gear, the current speed. We have two daily counters, the trip A and the B, and we can always see the total counter. Beside this we can see the fuel, the temperature of the water, and I started for a moment the RPM like this. And it also has a menu where we can step in from the handlebar. It has a lot of different things which we can change and check and everything. What is really important is that, for example, you can connect it to your mobile phone, and then you can put a lot of data to the dashboard. And for example, you can also change the appearance if you would like it to have always light, I mean white, or sorry, I have to go, these are the brightness. We go back and go back to the appearance just to show that we can, for example, change it to auto as well. But when we put it to auto, then it is always changing the white and the black color on the dashboard. So finally I put it fixed to dark, and it is better in sunshine and during the night as well. And what is also important, that we also have USB sockets, and not only simple USB but a USB-C as well. All in all, we have to say that the new TRK 702s, both the basic and the X version, are extremely good packages, especially with the prices. Check out your local market's price. Here in Hungary it's under anything you can reach. Maybe the only exception is much poorer quality suspension and everything else, motorbikes which can be cheaper than this, and the price difference is also not too big between the two of them, and which is also a really important thing, that I know that also in England and here in Hungary total alloy box sets, so 3 boxes, 2 side cases and 1 top case, are included in this price, which is even basically the lowest, maybe one of the lowest on the market.
So I think nowadays there is no better package than this. Of course, there are a lot of equipments which will be available, for example crash bar, which is important, or heated grips or heated seat. They are going to be available next year, as we heard at the Hungarian dealer. If you liked our review and if you like the Benelli TRK 702s, then push a thumb up on it, please. If you haven't done it yet, then subscribe for our channel and watch our previous contents as well. And thanks a lot for your kind attention.